What's happening, what's happening, what's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B Hard Radio Shout in. Hey, man, I got an NO legend stepping off in the building. Mobo Joe, what's good with it, boss?
Oh, man, on the real, man, it's a pleasure to be here. ATL, baby, Mobo Joe in the building.
Mobo, man, I mean, take me to square one, man. When you said it's time for me to crank up this gangster music in New Orleans, man, what was it that hit you and made you say, it's time?
Man, at the time, we was doing a lot of bounce music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of street violence going on, and the drug game was wide open, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I was tapped in with that, and I wanted to do something different, but I didn't want to do just the bounce music. So my childhood friend I went to school with, he just happened to have, you know, some gangster raps, and we connected.
Yeah.
And we put it down.
Okay, so I mean, cutting through that bounce music at that time, man, was it received well when y'all crunk it up? I mean, how was the atmosphere out there?
It was like everybody was really on the bounce stuff. Like my first project I did, it was lower level organization, was me and Notorious A, and we had no bounce music on it. You know what I'm saying? It was straight gangster.
Yeah.
My first song was called Portrait of a Villain. It got attention, but it ain't got attention till I dropped the Ruthless Juvenile, which I had 2 bounce songs on it with the gangster.
Okay.
And that opened the door up right there.
Talk to me about that club scene, though, man, in the streets. When you dropped that Ruthless Juvenile, man, I mean, how did folks react to it when they heard that thing, man?
Oh, man, they was loving it. They was loving it because it was different. And, you know, at the time, I was really moving heavy in the streets. So, like, you know, people was coming up to me. They was like, man, I'm talking about, like, the dealers and stuff. They was like, man, you made a reality that we can do other things, you know what I'm saying, besides just selling drugs, because it's a different when you seeing a rap a lot or NWA, but when you see somebody in the A or in the NO that you know doing it, it makes it more of a reality.
Exactly.
And that was the thing with the Ruthless.
Okay, so that industry at that time, though, man, I mean, you got all of these other artists that were going to be some greats as well. So, I mean, what was it like when you pioneering this thing and you seeing these other folks looking up to you saying, hey, man, I think we want to jump in the game and do what the hell you're doing in this mud?
Oh, man, it was love, man. It was love to see because, like I say, New Orleans, man, we kind of at the bottom of the barrel, man. Like, we had to really, really, you know, fight, you know, to get out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people like to say, you know, like, it's crabs in a bucket, but, you know, it's bigger than that because it's like crabs in a bucket is one thing, but a crab in its own environment is a crab. He know how to survive. You see what I'm saying? But when you're saying crabs in a bucket, you got to look at the poverty was so bad. So it's like you want to help your people, but you stuck in the poverty too. So you got to get yourself out the sewer before you can get somebody else out. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was love to see everybody, and I was raised by the older men in my village, you know what I'm saying? And it taught me a lot of good principles.
Okay.
So I was able to use them principles and establish the music with the business that I was taught when I was young.
Okay, talk about that New Orleans culture too at that time, man, because I mean, you still had all of the projects that they done tore down now, man. So I mean, what was it like maneuvering through there? And then what was you repping at that time as well?
Well, it was real tough. I was from the West Bank. I was from Harvey, Louisiana. My little hood is called Manhattan, but it's located in Harvey. That's where I'm from. Well, my dad died when I was like about 15, making 16. You know what I'm saying? I'm already, you know, moving around doing little things and stuff like that. What I messed up at, I made my first son when I was like 16 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I started selling drugs around that same time. You know what I'm saying? I was selling a little weed before that. But my mom found out that she had a talk with me. So I wound up moving out of my mom's house into the Desire Project.
Okay.
The Desire Project was in the Ninth Ward.
Yeah.
At this time, it was like the worst project. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So when I moved there from the West Bank, it was like coming from 50 to 150. You know what I'm saying? It was a whole different
Yeah.
But because I had good principles that I was taught, I was able to move around and stuff like that. My brother-in-law, he was a gangster from over there. So he you know, he like, brother-in-law, you got to be careful, you got to do this. So he gave me a lot of good inputs to make it, you know, through the cracks and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, my hustle for us getting money was already established, and that was kept me from, had to do some dumb stuff.
Come on now. I mean, but you a young man though, Mo.
Yeah.
How the hell do you get into the music game in the middle of the Desire Projects with no money and a young man that a young baby you got to take care of at the same time too, man?
Shit, I dropped the second one right after that. So I had two, man. And the sad thing, man, I lost both of my oldest kids, man.
What?
I lost both my oldest sons. I lost my oldest son in 2005, my firstborn, right before Katrina. He died in May of 2005. He got killed at this club called Kiddings Key West. He was 20 years old. My second son, this fentanyl stuff, man, he just OD'd in September the 29th.
Oh,
you know what I'm
God.
saying? But like I say, before the music, I used to hijack 18-wheelers. The same thing I drive, that was my first hustle to where I was hitting like 30, 40 racks. You know what I'm saying? I started coming to ATL probably 85, 86 because I had money and I started following the Saints.
Okay.
This is my first Saints game that I came to was in Atlanta. I was telling New Face, I was here the year they tore the Fulton Stadium down. I was here that year. I came to that game.
My God.
You know what I'm saying? So I already knew how to, do business and move around. And my mom's, when I was about 16, she made me open a bank account. You know what I'm saying? So I had a bank account, you know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, my daddy had his own business. So he'd always bring me to the bank with him and stuff and bring him to business meetings. So I was able to see it. So me having the money from that, and then when the drug game came, I didn't want to mess with it, but I was on autopilot because it was everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm hustling. I gotta make sure mom's straight, the kids straight. So when I started selling drugs, by me being from the West Bank and maneuvering, I knew a lot of people. So I tapped into the money real fast.
I feel that.
Me knowing that this ain't gonna last forever, it's turned me to the music.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was a fan of hip hop since it came on the planet, since the Sugar Hill Gang.
That's right.
So I took the principle that I knew from business, what I learned from the old men in the village, to the music.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.